actor and businessman Robert Ri'chard. Hey, Robert.
What's going on, Ward? How you guys doing? Thanks for having me. It's lovely to be here.
So let's get right into it. Your acting resume is so full, and you also have so many projects coming up. How do you manage to give each project your all and still continue hustling?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is, I love to be of service to like the community at large and saying global community. And, we're all going through so much in life right now, whether it be like, dealing with medical issues, family issues, things that are going on around the world. And if I can be like a little bit of slice of like, like my entertainment dessert, like that's what I, make sure I strive to be for. So, by the grace of God, I just have like abundant amount of energy and I put my all into it. And I always think about, there's somebody who's sitting at home on the couch with, popcorn and chocolate and they're watching, they've got a smile on their face or I'm making them cry. And that's from the work that I'm putting in. So I appreciate that.
I don't think people understood how important the entertainment industry was until this year with quarantine and COVID. And that is really all we had.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like, everyone says like, food and water and shelter and clothing. I'm like, and entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. So you also have quite a few projects coming up where you're producing. What do you enjoy about that title? And then do you prefer it over acting or you like both?
Yeah, so the production stuff is a different hat. I mean, I like business a lot too. So just sort of like being able to, work with other people on behind the scenes, whether it be contracts, negotiation, like distribution deals, all that kind of stuff. It's really exciting for me. And I try to make sure that I compartmentalize so that my acting doesn't suffer from, wearing too many hats. But I think part of it, I try and put a lot of discipline in my daily routine in general. People know that I work out a lot.
Yeah.
But sort of like I use that workout as a way of like mental stability to kind of like say like, okay, certain things are hard, but like we can get through them. We do hard stuff every single day. So I think that's kind of where I sort of have, the energy to do both. And I'm really involved in business now too. I'm helping develop elite performance medicine. Everyone's always asking me what things I'm using on my face and my skin. I didn't shave right now, but I have, any makeup artist that looks at my face is like, you have incredible face, incredible skin. I'm like, I use EPM, better science, better medicine. So I'm building that up. For the fans who want to know where it is, you can go to epmproductx.com. That's epmproductx.com. And I'm just, looking to be of maximum service and, reach my potential.
That's awesome. And I definitely want to talk about EPM and Highway Fit a little bit later. But while we're still on acting, between Cousin Skeeter and One on One, you spent a lot of your formative years on camera. What was it like growing up on camera?
It's funny, like, I think of like what I do kind of as a sport. So it's kind of like having these amazing sort of like sports athletes on set with me and in my mindset. And like, I made a movie called Light It Up, and like it's Rosario Dawson, Usher Raymond, Vanessa Williams, Forrest Whitaker, Fredro Starr, like the girl from Roseanne. Like it's all these amazing people on set. And to think that like for 6 months I'm in Chicago, and just like living day to day, going to work for 18 hours, making a movie with these juggernauts, and to see where their careers have gone, it's pretty exceptional.
Yeah. And then it's like a yearbook too, kind of. You always have this to look back on.
Yeah, I think that, in the industry that we work in, you sort of get immortalized with these movies and they sort of become like, a part of pop culture that'll last forever. And, I make it out with Paris Hilton, like, for the 21st century, that's going to be something that I'm never going to live down. It's pretty amazing. And, to work with Sam Jackson, to have these big films that I've worked with, it's really awesome. And I have a lot of energy and I look to make a lot more movies. I'm on a show right now. It's called Harlem. It's fantastic. It stars Megan Good, which her and I did Cousin Skeeter together. So I'm back with her. But Whoopi Goldberg's on the show, Jasmine Guy, Grace Byers from Empire's on the show. And it's produced by Amy Poehler and Pharrell Williams. And then Tracy Oliver is the showrunner. So it's a big show and I'm on it. And, they tell me that, Rob, you are killing it on the show. Like your dailies are outstanding. So I'm looking to pull some heartstrings, make people laugh too, make people cry also when this show comes out for Amazon, NBC, Comcast, Universal.
I can't wait. My husband just did extra work for that show. And he told me what a great time it was and how funny everyone was. You weren't in the scene, but the people
he missed me. He missed me.
I'll tell him to resubmit.
There you go.
So speaking of being immortalized on film, what is it like having new fans? I'm talking about One on One being on Netflix now, but really any of your work. What is it like having new fans fall in love with you for things that you've done so long ago?
Yeah, I think it's like the most important thing. You know, it's like we have so much entertainment these days from TikTok and Instagram and all the, you know, the apps and, you know, Trillers popping up right now, and Twitch is very popular. So all these kids are playing video games. They have so much. And, you know, I think it was the same stimulation for us when we were younger, like in the 90s, let's say, like, you know, you had sports figures, you had entertainment, you had singers and concerts and stuff. And so there's always been like a lot of things pulling for all of our attention. But I think that kids are pop culture, you know, and so making projects that resonates with like teenagers, like that's like the biggest thing. And I feel like all the big stars that we watched growing up, whether it be like Rush Hour with like Jackie Chan or all these different movies, like it was the kids going to see these movies that made Shrek or Nutty Professor or all these speed movies, The Matrix. It was us watching it. And so now that like I respect the fact that like the teenagers, they rule the world. You know what I'm saying? What they say, that's where the world's going to go. That's where the industry goes, where the money goes. And so if they're watching my stuff and stopping me in the street being like, oh my God, like that's Robert Ri'chard. Like I was watching on television last night. I'm like, this is the best compliment ever.
That's awesome. So if you were to revisit one of your older roles, let's say for a reboot, what would you want it to be?
Yeah, so everyone's talking about reboots of, you know, Cousin Skeeter and One-on-One. I think both of those are great. You know, I love, you know, getting back in the saddle with Bill Bellamy and My Cousin Skeeter, because that show is so funny and so great. And I think it would have a lot of traction in this year, like, you know, in 21st century. Yeah. And then, you know, my character Arnez on One-on-One is named after Desi Arnaz, which is the I Love Lucy show. So like teaming back up with like Kyla and doing like an I Love Lucy type show where it's just like, you know, us living in an apartment in the city and, you know, trying to make it and being funny. Like, I think that's great too. So I think both of those would be great shows to reboot. And they've been talking about them for a while now. So we'll see what happens.
Perfect. I'll cross my finger. So while we're talking about Cousin Skeeter, then I let my listeners submit some questions for you. And the question I got most was, what was it like working with a puppet?
Oh yeah, right. So Skeeter, he's actually my Cousin Skeeter. So I don't know what puppet you guys are talking about, because my Cousin Skeeter is my Cousin Skeeter. You know how it goes, and you know Skeeter flows. All I wanna do is hug you, cause I like your skilo. And the song goes on. It's great.
Well, I'm glad you did that, because the second question I got the most was, can you sing the theme song? So there you go.
There you go. Knew. Well, right into that. Look at that. little instinct thing.
So you've done sitcoms, horror, drama, romance. You've done it all. What is your favorite to act in?
You know, I really like the horror movies, man. They're great. You know, the horror movies, you know, they sort of like jumped upon. So I'm in a movie right now called Alone. It's on Amazon. You go watch that movie. It's phenomenal. It's a pandemic movie. How awesome is that? It's like a bunch of people get hit by a pandemic, turn into zombies. I'm like, it's the perfect popcorn movie to watch. Yeah, so watch Alone. I think it's on all the platforms, but definitely on Amazon. And then, you know, House of Wax is, you know, like any country that I go to, everyone's like. And so now I'm doing another paranormal movie coming up this summer. It's called From the Fields, and I'm a producer on it, and it's going to be phenomenal. And Krista Allen's going to be in it. Her and I did another movie together called California Love. I'm so in love with her. She's amazing. So we're teaming up again. And you know, she's like my modern day Julia Roberts. And I'm excited to, you know, play this sort of like country, like druggy, like on the run character with her. Like, it's great. It's but it's a paranormal thriller movie. It's great.
Oh, that sounds great.
The trailer for California Love is phenomenal. It stars Alan Payne, Chris Allen, and myself, Robert Ri'chard. And it's just about, you know, a woman who moves to the hood and falls in love with like a guy from the wrong side of the tracks. And originally Nipsey Hussle, God rest his soul, rest in peace, was playing my role, Hoover J, the head of Hoover Crip. But I carried that torch for him, and you know, it meant a lot to me to do the best that I can to sort of to carry that, you know, that flame for him.
That's so sweet. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you something, and if you don't want to answer it, I'll just remove it, and people won't even know that I asked. But recently, Jeanette McCurdy and Allison Stoner came out about their time as child stars and how Hollywood for children is a toxic environment that needs to change. How did you, if you experienced this, how did you get through it? And if you didn't, how do you think you made it through without experiencing the toxicity?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, I kind of had a lot of blessings, you know, from the people that I work with. And obviously everyone knows I'm a God-fearing person. So I think that that's always like a cloak of armor for me. Yeah. But I just had a really great people. Brian Robbins and Mike Tolan were the ones that sort of like held my hand through the Nickelodeon days. So they did my 4 Points Sports Theater was a basketball movie we did with Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal was a big advocate for kids. So we did that show. We won awards for that. Did another movie called First Time, which is also like a baseball movie that's about a kid who wants to be a baseball player, but baseball hadn't been integrated yet. And so it's like this kid being like, how am I going to break this glass ceiling of being like a Black kid in America, but still wanting to play the game that I love? But we won awards for that one too. And then we did, you know, My Cousin Skeeter, and Brian Robbins and Mike Tolan were the producers of that, and they did Coach Carter. So, and Brian now is the president of Nickelodeon. So I think that and he was on Head of the Class. So he was also like, you know, a teenage, you know, sort of like child entertainer, him and Dan Schneider also on Head of the Class. So I think that just from them being in the entertainment business and wanting to like get the best out of me and also be like big brothers and protect me, I think that definitely had a key in why I had such a healthy relationship with entertainment business when I was a teenager.
That makes sense too. And then what do you think, this is kind of a big question, but what do you think the industry can change to be more safer or more welcoming of child actors?
Yeah, I mean, I think now, you know, it's like everyone's got sort of like this phone or broadcast capability to be able to protect everything. And as long as it's not abused, I think it's going to be healthy for the industry. But sometimes I think things can be a little bit abused where maybe something that would normally be more private or personal gets just uploaded to the freaking world for the whole ocean to get to. So it has to be like that sort of, I think, level of class of what can be recorded and what can't. But I think that, you know, with that transparency, like it kind of keeps everyone on their P's and Q's. But yeah, I'm optimistic for the entertainment business for kids, because I think that, you know, kids rule the world. So
absolutely. So a lot of your work, I'm talking about Kinky and Chocolate City, but a lot of other stuff too, requires you to be in not a lot of clothes. So being almost naked on camera is one thing that I commend you for, but what is it like acting and staying in character while being in such a vulnerable state?
Yeah, for sure. So that's a great question. You know, like I haven't always known fitness, but obviously I had a girl leave me. I had a broken heart. And I thought to myself, like, how could I, you know, build myself back up, like from the inside, so that like I just don't crumble all the time at the like smell of her scent or seeing an old picture. You know how that goes. So I started to work out, and I kind of like leaned on my doctor to be like, hey, like what would be the proper way to like work out and get like results kind of fast, because I want to be healthy, but then also I'm on camera playing these roles. So we came up with Highway Fit. It's a low intensity workout, but it's really, really effective. And I mean, honestly, right now, like, I'm pretty in shape right now. And I work out.
I would say so. I can't do the same thing.
And I only work out 10 minutes a day.
Really?
So yeah, and it's just like, you know, it's no weights, it's no gym, and it's no travel. So we've eliminated all the excuses, and you can do it anytime, anywhere, every day. So you can do it on the floor, you can do it while you're traveling in the airport, you can do it while you're on the road, if you're on hotels or whatever, motels, whatever. So, and we really just wanted to do this for just like general health for like the public.
Yeah.
But because the workout works so well, like I can get pretty in shape, and you know, it seems like, you know, part of, you know, the sex sales or like, you know, the ratings, you know, my boss is always like, take your shirt off. Like it doesn't even, it'll be a normal scene and they're just like, no, just take your shirt off. Just doing the scene with the shirt off. So I think of it more kind of as a compliment, and you know, I like to drive the ratings too. So it's cool.
Yeah, why not use all your talents at once? Why not?
Right. You know, it was like, you know, the first time I walked out in the cowboy outfit on Chocolate City, that was the first time I'd ever stripped or been on a stage like that in my life. So that entire scene is like real.
Oh my God.
And I remember like Tyson Beckford like came to me and he was like, you're on next. And I was like, oh shit. But, you know, and now, like, you know, with Kinky, with Dawn Ri'chard, she's great. We all love her. I'm from Danny D. Kane. You know, I had to sort of sacrifice myself because, you know, a lot of times they want the girls to get more naked. Yeah. And so she's like, you know, I kind of protected her. I was like, I'll volunteer the skin so that she can feel more protected and keep herself, you know, more covered. And then on the new show that I'm on with Grace Byers from Empire, oh my God, I'm out there, bro. I played stripper. So I'm far out there. I got like this is dental floss. This is not even underwear. So
I guess you found your niche. You're never
yeah, for sure. I'm the guy.
You're never wearing clothes on screen again.
Right. Exactly right. If you need an Emmy Award winning actor with no shirt on, call me. You know?
So we're talking about it a little bit, but tell me more about Highway Fit. Tell me more about EPM.
So you know, I just wanted everyone to have like, you know, like 2 thumbs up at the next general health checkup. And so Highway Fit, like there's a crazy statistic that Harvard reported that 7 out of 10 Americans are overweight or obese. And I thought to myself, like, well, there's a lot of excuses for bad health. Like people don't have money, or it's cold outside. People have kids, or they have a high demanding job. All these things that can like eliminate a lot of time in your day.
Yeah.
I'm like, but that's like not a reason for bad health. So we tackled it head on. And I started with, a double board certified surgeon for American Board of Surgeons as my partner to say, like, let's figure out how to do this. And essentially what we did was we moved a healthy pool workout to land. And it's face down isometrics. And when we started it, everyone was still doing like face up stuff. So like crunches and all this stuff. But I think that we've really impacted culture, because now you see everyone in all these videos doing the mountain climbers, like facing the ground when they're working. And that isometric work is really, really healthy for the body, and that with great nutrition. And then, as far as like elite performance medicine, like, our founder is a boxer, a female boxer and a microbiologist, and went to the drugstore trying to managing her own pain. It was like everything on the drugs on the shelf. It's like a little bit of active ingredients, a bunch of inactive ingredients. Yeah. And she's like, why isn't there a product that's like some level of real purity of like all natural that we're looking for? That's like, no compromise, no perfumes, no preservatives, no toxins, no. So she formulated it, and I'm really, really behind this thing because it's all earth. It's made with all active ingredients. So there's no inactive ingredients in any of the products. And they're amazing. There's stuff for muscle and joint pain. There's stuff for mothers and babies. There's one called Calm. I use the one for my face. It's called Elite for all the celebrities and stuff. But if you are just someone who's dealing with psoriasis or eczema, there's Allure there. And there's stuff for military too. It's great. There's the military products have no hemp in them. So if you're a government worker, if you're an Olympic athlete, if you are scrutinizing your profession, you have a clean formula that is of no worry, no compromise, so that you can be healed and get along with your day.
And I do suffer from psoriasis, so thank you. I'm going to check that website out as soon as
yeah, for sure. It's amazing.
And I'll check out Highway Fit too, so we can both be shirtless next time I interview you.
I love it. Sounds good. Sounds great. I love it.
So before you leave, Robert, this is a pop culture podcast. So I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite pop culture moment of your lifetime?
Oh man, wow. Favorite pop culture moment? I think it's just really cool that like when I walk through the airport, everyone waves at me. Like TSA, old ladies, like the lady at the counter. Like I think that it's just so cool that like I've gotten to a level in my career where like everyone knows my face. Like I'm out with the people, like I'm out, walking around, I get on trains and stuff. I love people and stuff. And everyone's just like, Robert Ri'chard. And I'm like, wow, I'm Robert Ri'chard.
Yeah, because amazing. Your work really does. It crosses so many, I don't even know what word I want to use, but like I said before, you're in so many different genres for so many different target audiences. Everybody knows you.
Yeah. And like, like I've done Touched by an Angel and all these like faith-based movies too. So like there's like a whole church community that responds to stuff like that I've done. And then, whether it be the sports films or the dramas or the comedies, like there's even the slapstick comedies. I feel like I have a lot of range, and I still have the same face now too, thanks to EPM. So I think it's really easy to spot me. So
yeah. All right. Well, that is our time together, Robert. Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too. Thank you very much. And
of course.
Many blessings to you and your family, and have God keep you guys safe. Okay.
Thank you. You as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Bye.